beautiful out here. Look at all the stars. Oh, hello everybody. My name is Mrs. Taylor. Today we're going to learn about constellations. Constellations are a group of stars that when you connect the dots, they form a picture. Well, our stars are not ordinary stars. They have numbers on them. And when we connect those lines together, we're going to form fact families, which are also called related facts. But before we begin to look at these constellations, let's review what a fact family is and how to create them. A fact family is made up of three numbers. In this case, we're using the numbers 8, 7, and 15. First, we're going to create two addition facts that both equal 15. So we're going to start with the two smallest numbers to equal the largest number. So I started off with 8 plus 7 equals 15. To create the second addition fact, we're going to switch the stars 7 and 8 around. So the 7 is first. 7 plus 8 equals 15. Notice how the sum of each addition fact equals 15. Next, we need to figure out the two subtraction facts that go with the numbers 15, 8, and 7. Notice how I rearranged the stars so the largest number is in the front, which is 15. And then I put the 8 and the 7 right behind that. 15 minus 8 equals 7. Finally, I'm going to rearrange the stars one more final time to get my final subtraction fact. I'm going to keep the 15 in the same place because when I subtract, I start with the largest number. Then I'm going to swap the numbers 7 and 8 so that I can create the final subtraction fact of 15 equals 7 equals 8. Notice how both of my subtraction facts have 15 in the beginning of the equation. Because when we subtract numbers, we always start with the largest number. In this case, it's 15. But why is it important for us to learn fact families? Well, if you're learning a fact family, you're not only learning one math fact, you're actually learning 4 math facts at the same time. You're learning 2 addition facts that go along with 2 subtraction facts. Wow, that's going to really impress our teacher, isn't it? Because we're going to learn our math facts so much faster. Now that we know what fact families are and how to create them, let's search the sky for some more fact family constellations. Wow! Our first fact family can be found on the Big Dipper. It uses the numbers 8, 9, and 17. Since we know all 3 of the numbers that we're going to use, I consider this a level 1 fact family that can easily be created. Pause the video, write down the 2 addition facts and 2 subtraction facts that can be created with the numbers 8, 9, and 17. Then unpause the video to check your answer. You are becoming a shining star if you picked these as your related facts. 8 plus 9 equals 17, just like 9 plus 8 equals 17. Notice how I just switched the 8s and the 9s and put them into a different place, and the 17 stayed at the end as the sum. 17 minus 9 equals 8, and 17 minus 8 equals 9. Notice how we started with the largest number, which is 17, and then we just switched the 9 and the 8 to get the last 2 subtraction facts. Great job, boys and girls! Did you know that the Big Dipper is part of the constellation Great Bear? Now that you know how to create a fact family, you are ready to answer questions about related facts. Here's our level 2 fact family, which is found on the constellation Leo. Many think that Leo looks like a lion. It uses the numbers 8, 4, and 12. The question asks, which number sentence will 8 plus 4 equals 12 help solve? We're going to either add or subtract. Which do you think the best answer is? 12 plus 8 equals blank or 12 minus 8 equals blank? If you still aren't sure of the answer, here's a hint. Check out the lion. He's saying plug it in, plug it in. That means to solve each problem and to write the sum and difference on each blank. So we're going to add 12 plus 8 equals blank and fill in the blank, and we're going to solve 12 minus 8 equals blank and fill in the blank. Go ahead and pause the video so you can show your work and determine whether it's A or B. If you chose letter B, then you have the correct answer. 12 plus 8 equals 20. As you can see, there's no 20 in our fact family, so it can't be A. We're only using the numbers 8, 4, and 12. We have an 8, we have a 12, but there's no 20, so that's why I put an X on it. When we look at letter B and plug it in, we can see that all of the numbers are represented. 12 minus 8 equals 4. We have a 12, an 8, and a 4, which is perfect for the fact family that we're looking for. The next constellation that we see is called Orion. Many people recognize it once they find Orion's belt, which is made out of 3 stars. Since we only know 2 of the 3 numbers that are used in this fact family, I consider this a level 3 question. We have the numbers 13, 6, and a question mark. To help me figure out my missing number, I'm going to write down the equation 13 minus blank equals 6. Next, I'm going to rewrite the equation so that my unknown is at the end of the problem. I'm going to start with the number 13 because I'm going to subtract, and we always start with the largest number when we subtract. So then I move the 6 from the end of the problem to the next number in my problem. 13 minus 6 equals blank. Well, I can now subtract that. 13 minus 6 equals 7. Now I know my missing number. My missing number from the fact family is the 7. So the 3 numbers represented in this fact family is 13, 7, and 6. Let's rewrite our equation one more way. This time I'm going to write the answer to my subtraction problem first, followed by the equal sign. What do you think goes in the 2 yellow boxes? Pause the video and discuss. I put a check by the stars 6 and 13 because I've already used those numbers down below. 13 equals 6. So I have to decide whether or not I'm going to put an addition sign or subtraction sign next. Since we only have a 7 left, we know that that's the last number that goes into the equation inside the box down below. So we'll put a 7 in the second yellow box. Then we're left to decide whether we have the addition sign or the subtraction sign in the middle. Well, if we try to subtract 6 minus 7, we get a negative number because we didn't start with our largest number, which is 7. So therefore, we know that we have to add the 2 numbers together. 6 plus 7 equals 13.
It's time for your math challenge of the day. So grab a piece of paper and something to write with, and let's start creating our own fact family constellations.
There's lots of creative ways that you can create your own fact family constellation. You can get some star stickers, put them on a piece of paper, and then connect the lines with white chalk. You can also get a piece of black paper and draw your own stars using white crayons or chalk. You can also use a piece of paper and simply use a pencil to draw your own stars. And finally, if you have access to Google Slides, you can make your own constellation on a Google slide and share it with your teacher.
There are lots of different ways to make stars. Here is one way. Start by making a mountain. Then you're going to make that mountain into a letter A. Extend the line of the A a little bit further on both sides. Then we're going to connect the line from here to here. And finally, we're going to connect this line from this side to this side. And there you go. You have a star.
Here's a math fact constellation that I made on a Google slide. You can make one too. I started by making a background that looks like the starry sky. Then I decided to make some stars. So I went to the shape, click on it, and go to callouts. When you go under callouts, you'll see the star. Click on the star, and then click and drag it until it's the size that you want. You'll notice that it's white. To change the color, go to the paint bucket and click on Fill Color. I chose yellow. To get the number, you're going to have to add a text box. You can also change the font to make it larger. You can change the font. I had used Comic Sans MS. And I type in the number that I need in my equation, and I can move it until it's in the middle of the star. In order to get a line, go over here to the line button, and then click and drag it so it's as long as you want it to be. Then click on the white button to make it white. You can change the weight of it. I used a 4, and there you go. You can move it wherever you want to move it. You can make it shorter if you would like to also. The final thing I used were text boxes. Insert a text box, click and drag it to the size that you would like. I wanted mine to be yellow, so I clicked on the paint bucket and made it yellow. And then I made the font larger to a 30. And then I started typing in it the fact that I wanted. So there you go. You can make your own Google Slide constellation math fact family too.
Thanks so much for joining me here today as we observe the sky for constellations and fact families. You are really a star at making those addition and subtraction fact families now. If you liked today's video, make sure to click the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single adventure. Until next time, goodbye.